So let's go through some of the equipment that we use and some of the basic principles that we use to put a video together quickly. First things first, what are we filming on? These days, most people, filming it is a funny word, most people record video on their phone. And you know, someone coming to your council meeting might use Facebook Live or Periscope or something like that to film there. But these cameras, this is a brand new, hot off the presses iPhone, not mine, bit sparkly for me. But you know, the cameras that they have in these phones are quite powerful, and there's software and things that allow you to you know, surprising panoramic shots, 360-degree shots, very, very cool things. I've got a brother-in-law who heads up a video production wing within a Canadian university. He has all kinds of expensive cameras, but his go-to camera is his smartphone. It's his favorite thing to shoot on. All right, now, in addition to that, we have an iPad. I'm going to show you a couple examples here on an iPad, but an iPad also very good at providing good quality video, particularly in low light conditions. I was surprised to find out that the city of Ottawa, which is large and has budgets, bigger budgets than yours probably, the city of Ottawa does most of its recording, most of its video editing, all of it shot, prepared, and distributed using an iPad. They use other cameras from time to time, but we have it on good information that their go-to tool is an iPad. This is a digital SLR camera. You know, this is a pretty basic level digital camera that you're going to find. We are big fans of using this for still photography, for social media posts, and you've heard us refer to that in some of our other webinars. But this camera also has a separate microphone input here, so you can use a professional grade microphone or lights along with this camera. You can also do things like use a really quite dramatic zoom lens. We love this thing because this allows us to get people when they least expect it. They don't, you know, we need to get approval forms from people when we have the final product before we use it. But we can get really natural dramatic shots using a zoom lens. This is expensive. This will run as much as the camera. Wide angle lens, similarly, just provides us with a different kind of shot. If I'm filming Remembrance Day Parade, for instance, I'm going to want a wide angle lens for that. All right, I've got a bigger camera that I'm filming on right now. It's a Canon XA20. You know, a decent video camera if you want to go that route. I'm not sure it's necessary, but that's what I'm filming on right now. It'll probably set you back. You know, you're talking about $2,000 or so, and the reality is that technology is getting smaller, cheaper, and more powerful as you go. Some other basic equipment, you'll see that I've got a tripod here. I'm actually using 3 tripods. I've got a good sized tripod for my video camera. I've got a secondary light that's on a tripod, and I've got an iPad affixed to this tripod using a iPod or an iPad mount. An iPad mount will cost you about $50. There's a couple of other things that we've brought in here. We might as well segue right into it, is sound. So this is a microphone. You get this at the Apple Store. This is a microphone that will patch into your iPad and give you good sound on an iPad. Now you can marry all this together, and it's a technique that we often use to do to provide detailed information. You can imagine an emergency situation where you're analyzing a piece of legislation, or your municipal budget has just come out and you want to hit a number of stats, figures, complicated information. You can write all that out in advance and use a teleprompter app. We can provide a link to that at the end here. But the teleprompter app, basically the way this works is it's recording right now. I can use this microphone to get fantastic sound, and we provided some samples earlier there of what the final outcome is going to look like. Your head is positioned right about in there. As you can see, if I put my head in the right place for the camera, it's going to show up, and I know exactly where my head's supposed to be, so I have a nicely framed shot. The good size video camera that we're using comes with its own internal microphone. It comes with an external mic, which you'll grab at a larger distance. It provides us with a wind shield, which is a helpful thing to have if you're outdoors. But in addition to that, I'm using remote microphones. I often see demonstrations from fire departments of people using the jaws of life, and the sound and audio is always dreadful. We can fix that. We could mount this camera onto the camera, or mount this microphone. Using it, we can put the camera right on the scene, right in front of the people that are doing the action with the car, and we could have a narrator step back 50 feet, describing it all seamlessly in real time, providing good quality sound. You would hear the hum of the equipment in the background, but you'd have all that atmosphere that goes with it captured. All right, let's move over to lighting. The lighting is one of the most important things. In my journalism school program, one of the only things I think I really want to remember from journalism school is don't take pictures of things, take pictures of light. Now I understand that sounds a bit weird, but it's true. If anybody can aim a camera at something you want to get a shot of, but if you get the lighting right, whatever your subject matter is, it's just going to pop. So there's a few things we do to make the lighting work. We've got 3 lights going on right now, and I just want to show you what a difference it makes. Can you kill that? My trusty colleague Terry is going to kill light. You can see right away we lose that. I've got a secondary light here. Let's drop that away too. And you can see right away we start running into problems where the quality of the video that we're going to have is not nearly as good as we want it to be. All right, so let's put all of our staging back in place. Thank you, Terry. If lighting is still a struggle for us, then the simple solution to that is to step outside. If you are going to film, you want to shoot in areas that have large amounts of natural light if you can possibly do it. And it's very important to make sure that the light is coming at the subject. Again, take pictures of light. So you want light bouncing off whatever it is that you're taking a picture of, which means if you put somebody in front of an open window or in front of a window that's got natural light coming through it, you're going to get a dark black silhouette and terrible lighting. So we need to take these kinds of things into consideration to make sure that the sunlight coming inside into an enclosed area, or if we're shooting outside, we need to have the light in the person's eyes. It should be reflecting off of them. All right, what next do we, next thing I want to talk about, let's talk about what we wear. All right, you can see I'm just wearing kind of a solid blue shirt. Simple and boring is better. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. But first, I got to change my shirt. Okay, I got a new shirt. You'll notice that this shirt, there's nothing wrong with the old shirt, but this shirt is a fundamentally poorer choice than the last one. The tight check that I have in here, if you've ever seen some people on camera, their clothing takes on kind of a disco ball effect, that's what this shirt will accomplish for you. Anything with a tight check, a herringbone pattern, something like that, has the potential to move. Solid colors. Try to avoid bright white, but basically any kind of solid color is probably going to be better for you. And you want to watch for things like large necklaces, large earrings, anything that looks a little gangster, can interfere with microphones. And we don't want anything beating up against our microphone. That's annoying. Alright, so we've made a change to the camera that we're using. We got rid of the Canon XA20 and we moved just to a simple smartphone. Now the smartphone technologies just keep getting better and better. The cameras are getting amazing. This one does not have a microphone attached to it like the iPad earlier. What we will be looking at for this phone is a Bluetooth lavalier mic, which we just haven't picked up yet. The other thing we're looking at is this is an older version GoPro camera. The GoPro 6 that's coming out is also a really remarkable high-end camera that works really seamlessly with your smartphone to do editing very easily. Finally, what we're going to do is we're going to move from the smartphone camera back to this guy. So this is a Canon digital camera with a 24mm lens on it. You know how they always say that a camera puts 10 pounds on you? This lens won't put 10 pounds on your spokesperson. And we're going to marry it up with this strange contraption right here. This is our Redbrick selfie station. This is designed to go in one central place in your office, wired up with, you've got your camera mount, lights, audio, or dual lights, whatever you want to do. There's different ways you can set this up. So we'll make that change, and you'll see what that camera looks like next. So this shot is using that red box. It's a stationary, it's a selfie station. So this is designed to sit somewhere in a relatively fixed place. Doesn't get moved around, so it's consistent in terms of the shots that you set up. It's what you want to use for a series of weekly videos, simple messages, something like that. Certainly it's portable. It's a really great setup to use in a boardroom, something along those lines. We're using the Canon 80D combined with a 24mm lens. This is a fixed lens. It doesn't have it doesn't zoom in and out. But what it does do is when you're the right distance from it, it'll track your facial features to make sure that it's in focus, working with the camera. And it also is a far more flattering lens. If you were this close with another lens, you're going to get a fisheye effect at this distance. This lens is it's going to make you look better, and who doesn't like that? We've also paired this up with the Zoom H5 microphone using the shotgun microphone option, which gives us that crisp sound feeding into the camera. Now this combination of different types of cameras, different types of recorders, lighting, all on a single rack like this is something that we might use outside as well with a series of tripods. So let's go outside and have a look at some of those options. Okay, we're back to shooting on a Samsung phone. I want to show you a few things that you can't do at your phone. This is a setup that's great for a community event. We've got a sturdier tripod. On top of that, we've got a fixed rack that allows us to mount different options, and there's different ways you can approach this. It doesn't have to be this way. But what we want is a combination of microphones and a camera that we can easily pop off and take shots at the event. Or we can set up in the back of the room and we can use a zoom lens to capture our spokesperson who's presenting at the front. We're going to get great audio from that spokesperson because we can use a remote microphone or a lavalier mic patched into the camera to get great sound. When those formal proceedings are finished, we're going to take that patch cord there, we're going to feed it into our other second microphone. This is going to give us that crowd noise of just people milling about, all that sort of environmental sound that we want to get there, all that mood sound that we want. If we want to do interviews with people, we're going to move to a shotgun option, either a separate shotgun mic if you have to, or in this case, one that allows attachments like this. Now, we also might want to use a setup like this with that remote that I showed earlier with a phone or an iPad or something like that that allows us to turn the camera on and off and start recording from a distance. That would allow us, if we're set up, say, getting a shot of a public service, like a bus pulling into a bus stop, or just any service that you're trying to feature. Let's say you just want to show, that sort of golden 20, 30, or 10 or 20 seconds of great video with some messages laid on top of it for a short social media clip. You get this set up in place, you stand aside, you fire it off, you get what you need. Now, the other time we might use this is if we don't want to scare wildlife or something like that. You're taking shots of birds or animals or something like that. Use a shotgun mic that'll get you great audio of that, birds chirping, whatever it might be. Zoom lens is going to allow you to get them at a distance, and again, you can be very far away and you can start and stop the camera with your phone.